Hey YouTubers, how goes it today? Not a bad day out, a little gray, a little on the cool side. I'm guessing it's right at maybe 50 degrees. Somewhere in there. Upper 40s, lower 50s. Feels pretty good, Rick. Discussion today. I think everybody's been talking about cold weather riding, cool weather riding. So we might as well continue in that vein. Discussion today. What's first to go on you that keeps you from riding in the cold? Is it A, your hands, B, your upper body torso, C, your legs, and that includes lower legs, not feet, and last would be feet, and that would, the reasoning behind that would be boots. I've got an imbecile in front of me. Not anymore. Anyway. With me, so you've got A, which is your hands, B, upper body, C, legs, D, feet, and E, that big old head that's underneath that helmet, hopefully. Well, with me, it is probably the hands. I think they're the first to go on me. I can take a lot of cold. I ride in some pretty cold temperatures. But the old hands, they're first to go on me. So, what do? You can get some riding gloves, the gauntlet kind. They work pretty good. You can also get gloves that have the little heat packs in them. They're alright. Or you can really help yourself out by getting a fairing with hand covers where you don't have those cold winds blowing on your hands near as much. Now, as for me, you can tell I have none of the above. Well, I take that back. I do have a windshield at home. It's not on my bike because it makes the wind hit the top of my helmet so bad I can't see straight. So, I wish I did have a windshield on here, but I do not. Now, from past experience, I think you can ride in temperatures way colder when you have a windshield or a fairing on than you can without a fairing. So there ought to almost be two classes of riding, like on a polar bear ride or something like that. People that don't have anything to block the wind, such as windshield or fairing, and then the people that are loaded up with the big windshields, fairing, and all that good stuff to keep the wind from getting them. You can take a tremendous amount of cold when the wind's not robbing that heat from your body as fast. So that's why your hands, with no fairing, your hands are exposed. And since they're an extremity, they get the least amount of blood. And usually your fingers and your toes give you the most trouble the quickest. My toes aren't too bad. I don't think I've ever been where they've got bad enough to where I had to stop riding because my toes were cold. But Boy, the hands is another story. Now, when it gets real cold, I've got asthma pretty bad. And other good breathing problems that tend to make riding in the cool weather or cold weather more of a little bit of a struggle for me than the average person. But I love it, so I can't stop. So a lot of times I'll wear some type of face mask, surgeon's mask or something like that when the weather starts getting cooler. And that does a lot. Now here we go again on things that will help you get through the cold. A full face shield where you don't have any big openings like you do on a modular shield or an open face shield. You get a full face shield with a mask on, and you can do wonders as far as keeping the cold off of your face and out of your lungs. But riding with it like a half helmet on in the winter, I've done that. Did that for a long time up in Colorado. Is not a lot of fun. Riding with 2 bandanas wrapped around my face. My glasses were icing up. So there's a lot of advantages you can get when you're on these cold weather rides, you know, that makes sense. You know, if you've got the money and you can do it, you know, get yourself a bike with a fairing or a windshield. Get yourself a full face helmet. This is a modular helmet, so I've got a lot of wind that comes up underneath this. My chin gets pretty cold. But do what you can, and you'd be surprised what kind of temperatures you can ride in. My leathers that I got on right now, insulated leathers, jacket, they're good with nothing else, you know, just long sleeve shirts all I got on, and my insulated leathers, my insulated boots, insulated gloves. They're good with nothing else underneath them, like long underwear and wind shear clothing, you know. They're good too in the 40s and upper 30s, depending on how far I've got to go and what kind of speeds I'm riding at. Obviously, the slower I ride, the less the wind's going to be robbing my body heat from me, but also the longer I'm out in it. So there's a trade-off there. So, beautiful. The trees are finally starting to turn. Not a lot of color here, but it's because we had such a hot fall. Hot summer. Temperatures in the 100-degree plus range. 25, 30 days in a row. So anyway, that's what goes on me, folks. First is the hands. I haven't really found any gloves. My hunting gloves that I hunt with are pretty good, but they're too bulky. I don't like so much bulk in my gloves that I don't have a good feel for my throttle. They're too bulky, or I'd wear them all the time. Mittens, I really don't like mittens much while I'm riding. I've tried a few mittens on. Kind of like the dexterity of the fingers, which, you know, is a detriment. Ooh, boy, this makes me want to go faster here, but I know better. So that's what goes on me first, folks, is the hands, my body, my core. Man, I can go when it's really cold. I mean, not as much as I used to when I was young. Shoot, when I was in my 20s or 30s, I've hunted all my life. I used to sit out all day deer hunting in a tree stand. I killed a deer back in 1989. We had the coldest stretch of temperatures ever where I live. We had a week where it was 18 to 21 below Fahrenheit temperature. That's not wind chill, that's just the regular temperature. Killed a nice buck with my bow. in about 18 inches of snow that December. It was cold. I can't take as much cold as I could when I was young, but that's to be expected. But I can still hang in there pretty good. So I don't have a problem keeping my core. Core's the easiest to dress for, you know, using some wind shear stuff, good leathers, long underwear. Keep your core pretty warm. You keep the wind from touching your skin. Now, the legs, it's about the same way, but the legs are going to take a little bit more. They're a little bit further from your core, your body, where your blood tends to pool, where the heat is in your body. So they're going to get a little cooler quicker, so it's going to take a little more to keep them warm. So, good set of insulated underwear. Good set of insulated chaps, leather to keep the wind from going through so much. You'd be surprised how much cold you take on your legs. Well, keep your legs tucked in towards your bike. Catch a little engine heat, especially you boys that have the big motors. That helps a little bit. Feet's another story. Now, I can tell you when your toes get cold, your game's done. It's kind of like fingers. You rub your fingers and everything, get a little blood going in them, get a little warm, but when your toes get cold, there ain't a whole lot you can do other than get up and walk around. Once you get up and walk around and move around a little bit on your feet, get that blood going back through there, yeah, you're warm again. But doing that on a bike is kind of hard to do. So you gotta have a good set of boots on, riding boots, insulated, and it'll take you a long ways. So on the leg part too, that fairing that comes down, a lot of guys got on their bikes that comes down, keeps that wind off their legs. That gives them a real advantage in riding, you know, in the cold temperatures, polar bear stuff and all that stuff, just like a fairing does on your hands and upper body. I know it makes a big difference. I've owned bikes that had fairings on them, and I could ride in much colder temperatures than I could at speed than I could on a naked bike like this one I'm riding now. It's only natural. So, you know, when a guy says that he's riding and it's 25 degrees and he's on a bike with a full fairing, it doesn't quite mean as much to me as a guy who's riding on an open bike at the same temperature. Because I know what both of them are experiencing, and it is different, for sure. Okay, well that's all I had. Let me know what gets cold on you guys first. Hands, chest, head, feet, whatever. And give me an idea what you guys do to combat it. And I'm talking about what do you do other than putting your bike away. I don't even want to hear that. unless the roads are too slick to ride on, the bike don't get put up in this family. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Into the traffic now. No fun. Hate it. Bye.